Path of Exile 2 has just released, and it's took the action RPG world by absolute storm. It visually looks stunning, and the gameplay is absolutely brilliant. However, guys, if like me, you don't own a next-gen console, or you don't have a PC that's quite good enough to play it, you're going to be left sort of lacking in excitement for it. However, guys, in today's video, I'm going to give you a list of 5 games on mobile that are at least very, very similar in gameplay and sort of mechanics to Path of Exile 2, so that when the day finally comes and they release it on mobile, you might have a little bit of an edge in the game. So without further ado, guys, it's Iros here. Please leave a like down below. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and let's go to 5 games like Path of Exile 2 on mobile. These are in no particular order, guys, but in at number 1, if you haven't heard of this game, you should, is Guild of Heroes Adventure RPG. Now, this was released back in 2016, and I did play it quite extensively at the time. It's available on Android, iOS, and Windows if you do have a PC, and it's sort of like online, but you can also solo pretty much everything. Now, if you can look past the obvious hints at please pay to win this game, you can actually get through the chunk of the campaign by yourself without actually paying a penny, unless you want to sort of, spend a little bit or group up with other players in the game. And I think it still has a dedicated player base, so you're not going to be alone if you do jump on this right now. It still seems to be quite active, but it's a good alternative to sort of the hardcore Path of Exile type game. It's still fun to play, and you do get 3 different classes to mess around with. Number 2, guys, is a little game called Eternium. Now, I actually played this a lot, and I mean a lot, when I moved house, because you can actually play this one offline, single player, and it's really addictive to play. It's very well done, very well made. Now, this came out in 2014, believe it or not, and the graphics are not too shabby, if I do say so myself. This is also available on Android, iOS, and Windows. Now, this is a point and click to move. So on mobile, obviously, you're going to have to tap the screen to move around, but it doesn't make it any more difficult than, like, say, a joystick game would be. It's actually also slightly pay to win. There is chests that you come across in the game that you can't open unless you have the premium currency. You get some free, but eventually you're going to get to the point where you can't open anymore. However, you can mess around with different classes, different skills, and you can upgrade your equipment and spells to do more damage. And there's quite an extensive campaign, if I do remember correctly. I don't think I actually ever finished it, so I'd be interested to see if anyone does manage to finish this one. But like I say, it's got similar mechanics to Path of Exile style, and it is quite extensive. Now, I'm not sure if there's a multiplayer, at least from my experience, I never saw one, but there might be later in the game. Who knows, you might be able to join with other players and take on bosses and such. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next one. Number 3, guys, is, of course, Torchlight Infinite, another game that I spent a ridiculous amount of time on when it first came out, back when it was a single-player game. However, since then, I know they've added multiplayer, and you can team up with friends or just public parties or whatever you want to do for farming and killing bosses or raids or whatever. It's actually added. Now, I don't play it now, but I remember it being very, very extensive on what you can do with the skill tree. There's I think 20 or so classes now on the game. It's very hack and slash focused, very grindy, kill massive amounts of mobs on an entire map and farm gold and gear and gradually upgrade yourself, upgrade your skills. I think your skills actually level up the more you use them as well, so there is that interesting little snippet of information for you. Now, this game came out in 2023, at least the global the global launch did, so it was just last year. It's available on Android, iOS, and Windows, and it's very fun to play if you are looking for a hack and slash fast-paced combat game. So definitely go and check this out if you're looking for that. Can't believe I'm including this game, but at number 4 is, of course, Diablo Immortal. Now, if you haven't played this, you don't know the controversy behind it, and you don't mind other players being absolutely 100% pay to win, you may enjoy this title. Now, like I say, incredibly pay to win, still is, hasn't changed from launch, even though they got a lot of backlash for it. However, it's still a sound game. It's got good mechanics, good gameplay, and lots of classes to choose from. I think originally it had 5 or 6 classes, but now it's got about 10 or 12 or something like that, so there's lots to do. There's also PvP, but the PvP, if you're not paying to win, I would just avoid completely. That's entirely up to you. But a massive campaign, lots of raids to do, and lots of ways to improve yourself. There's also a prestige, so you hit level 70, I think it is, and then it goes into prestige levels after that, so you can just keep grinding and grinding and grinding to your heart's content. I think there might be a daily cap on grinding, but I'm not 100% sure on that, but just keep going and going and going. It's also online. You can play with other players, you can join clans. I don't play this anymore, but at the time when it first came out, I did play it for several months before I decided to call it quits. However, guys, the last game on this list is amazing and probably the closest one to Path of Exile 2. Lastly, guys, we've got Undecember. Now, if you haven't heard of this game, that's probably a good reason for that, because it didn't get much of a global publicity push whatsoever. It originally started as just a Korean game, and I did play it when it was in Korean, and it was insanely hard to understand everything. But it eventually came to global, and I gave it a little bit of a go, but at the time I'd already moved on to different genres. But this game is literally the closest thing you could get to either Path of Exile 1 or 2 on a mobile device. It's very, very extensive and complicated. Lots of things to do in the game besides grinding. You've got runes that inherit your skills. So your skills are runes, and you get like a rune board, and you can scatter them out and upgrade them and put different status effects and join skills together so that like sort of do this different thing and blah blah blah. It's just very, very complicated. It's actually really hard to sort of explain because I haven't got miles into the game, but I have recently reinstalled this since seeing people play Path of Exile 2 on YouTube. So if you want something extremely close to Path of Exile, this is the game to download. Now, this is also available on Android, iOS and Windows, and it was released in 2022, so it's only 2 years old. But this is the global. I think it was out for a good year or two in Korea itself before it came to the global server, so there is sort of the bug fixing and the optimization and stuff already there. It's actually really fun to play. The footage you're seeing in the background is actually my own footage that I recorded yesterday, so definitely check this one out if you do want an alternative to Path on mobile. Well, guys, that is it for the list for today. Now, obviously, guys, I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of action role-playing games on mobile right now that I could have put in this list, but these are just 5 that I think suit it the most and will probably give you the most enjoyment from actually playing it. Now, there won't be the exact sort of carbon copies of Path of Exile 2. It's a new game. It's got mechanics in that are new to the genre, and it will be absolutely amazing to play. But guys, if you've enjoyed the video, you like the list, please do like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel by now, please do hit it then and there so that you don't miss any future videos exactly like this one. Anyway, guys, let us know down in the comments what you think of the list, if you'll enjoy it, if you didn't like it, and make sure you do check out my socials in the description. I've got a Discord, a Twitter. Please follow us on there, join me Discord, join the discussion about mobile games, and do make sure you check out my Rumble where I do live stream various different mobile games. Currently I'm live streaming Delta Force, but it'll be more in the future as and when I want to play them. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you then.